If you have a collector car, it needs to be driven. It can't just sit in the garage. There are mods out there that can increase the value of your car. Simple economics, the law of supply and demand. If they want to store them and never drive them, they should be able to store them and never drive them. If they want to race them and beat the hell out of them, that's cool too. I believe 1 of 6 in Royal Sapphire Pearl. So rare color. And those people are the same people that don't put the shopping cart back. The people that don't clear the snow off the roofs of their cars and they go driving are the same people that don't put the shopping carts back. I bet you any amount of money has slept to the grocery store and they've got 2 feet of snow on their roof. They put their groceries away and they leave the cart out and then they're driving away and they got snow on their roof. It's the same people. Lazy, selfish people, man. You're gonna pay for it. It's just the way that it is. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Philip Tamoria Sports Cars. Did anybody catch the Mecum auction on Sunday? There were a bunch of import cars that went for pretty wild numbers, pretty crazy numbers. But then again, are those numbers really that crazy in today's world? There was a Toyota Supra Turbo, there was a Toyota MR2 Supercharged, there was a Honda Civic SI, and a Honda 2000. And all of these cars were really clean. A couple of them were modified. Some of them were extremely low mileage. A Honda CRX SI as well with extremely low mileage. I think only a couple hundred miles. So let's take a look at these cars. First up was a 1997 Toyota Supra. I believe 1 of 6 in Royal Sapphire Pearl. So rare color. What's interesting about this one is it's extensively modified. This car has a lot of work done to it. It's not stock. And it looks like it has over 100,000 miles, 130,000 miles. Beautiful car, very tastefully done, and it sold for $132,000 for a Toyota Supra Turbo from the 90s. It goes to show you, everybody loves the Supras. What do you guys think? Would you pay that much for a modified Supra? And look, I know a lot of you guys are going to say none of these cars are worth the money. None of them are worth it. But a few things to remember here. Number one, we've had a lot of inflation since these cars were sold in the 90s. We live in a world with $100,000 pickup trucks and $100,000 SUVs that are all over the place, that people drive and then they tank in value. Everything is expensive in today's world. If you want something that everybody else wants, that's limited in supply, simple economics, the law of supply and demand, you're going to pay for it. It's just the way that it is. So would you rather have this Supra or a stock Supra? The other Toyota is a 1989 Toyota MR2 Supercharged. And this one sold for big money too, $77,000. That may be the most that a first generation Toyota MR2 has ever gone for. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. I don't know as much about these, to be honest. I'm a bit more of a fan of the generation after this than I am these, but still a true sports car, mid-engine, super lightweight, and this one's supercharged so you get extra power. But if you're noticing, cars that were tastefully modified or modified well with the right parts do pretty well. In the past, in the old days, if you had your car modified at all, it could potentially tank the value. But what we've been seeing over the last 10 years or so is that the right mods on the car, especially mods that are desirable, maybe mods that aren't made anymore, can actually bring more value to a car. Usually you're better off with a stock vehicle. That's the safe bet if you're buying something, you know, to keep it as an investment piece per se. But there are mods out there that can increase the value of your car. And yeah, of course, there are a lot of mods that will tank the value of your car. Also, ultra low mileage 2009 Honda S2000 in yellow. This one went for $71,500, which really, if you think about it, yeah, that's a lot of money for an S2000, but it's extremely low mileage, 2,061 miles. And I know people are going to say, well, all the rubber's going to fall apart, things need to be replaced. And yeah, cars should be driven. And then how low a mileage is too low mileage? I agree with that. Like, I think there should be a middle ground. There should be, if you have a collector car, it needs to be driven. It can't just sit in the garage. But at the same time, if we didn't have these garage queens, we wouldn't have any clean examples. And I want to be able to experience these clean examples, even if I'm only seeing them in a museum someday. We need a little bit of both. If everything was driven hard and raced at the track, we would not have any cool classic or vintage cars left. There would be none. And we would be stuck with a bunch of microwaves, a bunch of Teslas, and life would really be boring. Think about it. If every single sports car was driven hard, like they're meant to be, at the track and raced, and yeah, that's cool. I'm not saying you shouldn't do that. Go out and do what you want with your car. It is your car. But if they were all driven hard and raced, we would have nothing but electric microwaves right now. and hybrids and boring new cars. That would be it, man. That would be it. So we need to have preservation. It's very important. 1991 Honda CRX SI. Get this, 326 miles. 326 miles. That's wild, man. That's got to be the lowest mileage CRX in existence. If it's not, comment below. That's just wild. That went for $71,500. Would you pay that for the lowest mileage CRX? I mean, these cars are officially classic cars. They're old now. I think they deserve to be worth money, man. And I know a lot of people are upset because originally these cars were for middle-class people, working-class people, and now some of these cars are out of reach for people. So I get that. I can sympathize there. I definitely can. But hey, they're rare now. It's not like it was in the 90s when these cars were everywhere and there were literally hundreds and thousands of them. Now, there's a handful of them left in exceptional condition, and that is it. And this one I'm a big fan of, the 2000 Honda Civic SI Coupe. And this went for $66,000. It's in the, I want to say, electron blue. I had the Civic EX back in these days, and I had a 97 Civic EX, and I wanted the SI, but didn't quite have the money for it at the time. I was like 19 years old, 20 years old, I think, when I got the Civic EX. But the SI was the one I always wanted. So, and I do think that's the best looking Honda Civic ever made, in my opinion. Well, maybe the new one. I do like the newest one. The newest one is a pretty amazing sports car for what it is really now. But there's something about the 90s body style. It just looked so clean. I even want to say upscale for an economy car, an economy sports car. It didn't feel cheap for what it was. The build quality was fantastic. The shifters in those cars, the way they rev, the nimble, lightweight feeling. I mean, you can't beat it. And again, you know, pre-Fast and the Furious, these cars came out, everyone thinks about these cars with the Fast and the Furious, but this is all pre-Fast and the Furious. If you could have any one of these cars, which one would you want? Comment below. I'd probably go with the Supra, even though it's the highest mileage, but I don't know, man. I love Supras, and I like the color. I do like the S2000 as well. I think the S2000 would probably be my second choice. Then I would go MR. Then I don't know really, to be honest, with the last three. I'd have to drive the. I know how the Civic drives. I don't know how the MR2 drives. I've never driven one of those. I know how the CRX drives. But I mean, I think they're all really cool cars. Which one would you want in your garage? Comment below. I know normally I drive around when I make these videos, but we still have a lot of salt on the roads from a big snowstorm. So why drive if I don't have to? You know, I can just make this sitting here in the driveway. But it is, I don't know, something about driving and making the videos, I feel like I can concentrate more, and it helps me to hold still. I'm somebody that likes to move around a lot, so it's easier for me to talk when I am vlogging and I'm walking around somewhere, at a car show, for example, or a museum. Or if I'm driving, then that just really keeps me focused, because I have to focus on the driving, and then it just seems to be a little easier to talk and relax, if that makes sense. But yeah, man, it's a cold winter here in Maryland, and looks like it's going to continue to be a cold winter. I'm not someone that minds the snow, but at the same time, I'm definitely looking forward to those car shows this spring, man. They can't come soon enough. And when it comes to car collectors, remember this, you know, it's ultimately, people should be able to do what they want with their cars. If they want to store them and never drive them, they should be able to store them and never drive them. If they want to race them and beat the hell out of them, that's cool too. As long as they're not doing something that's going to impact the safety of others. Like, for example, not clearing 2 feet of snow off your car after a blizzard and going for a drive. That drives me nuts. I can't stand that. I can't tell you, that nothing worse than some idiot in front of you. You're driving down the road and they're blinding you with their snow because they were too lazy to clear it off, or they just do not care about anyone other than themselves. And those people are the same people that don't put the shopping cart back. The people that don't clear the snow off the roofs of their cars and they go driving are the same people that don't put the shopping carts back. I bet you any amount of money. And pay attention in the grocery store, and you'll probably see somebody that has slept to the grocery store and they've got 2 feet of snow on their roof. They put their groceries away and they leave the cart out, and then they're driving away and they got snow on their roof. It's the same people. Lazy, selfish people, man. Not cool. Anyway, end of rant. That's my rant for today. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. and I'll see you next time.